name is Kulirato. I'm a South African. I am so worried and frustrated about this, whatever happening here, about these foreigners. We have so many graduates in South Africa, but yet we are being overlooked. We are being overlooked. We have so many undergraduates, but yet companies are hiring foreigners. What are we going to do about it as South Africans? These foreigners need to go. They need to go.
Now, June 30th came, and South Africa did not tell one story. It told six. In one place, a Malawian migrant was leaving the country, angry, wounded, and warning South Africans that chasing workers away would not fix the economy. In another place, Nigerians and South Africans stood on opposite sides of a police line, waiting to see if anger would become violence. In another community, South Africans were begging a foreign shop owner to reopen because they needed bread, sugar, coffee, and water. Somewhere else, shops were being looted. In another clip, a woman of Congolese origin stood her ground and said, "We are not leaving. We grew up here. We work here. We pay rent here." And in another community, South Africans rejected the whole March and March ideology and said, "Here, we live in peace. Here, the shops are open. Here, Africa is for Africans." So, what really happened in South Africa on June 30th? The answer is not simple. June 30th did not solve the immigration crisis. It exposed the contradictions underneath it. Welcome back to the South Africa File. This is where we follow the history, the power, the politics, and the consequences. For weeks, June 30th was treated as a deadline. Anti-immigrant groups had promoted it as the day undocumented foreigners should leave South Africa. The state said it was not an official deportation deadline. Government said June 30th would be a normal working day. Law enforcement was put on alert. Soldiers were deployed to support the police, and people across the country waited to see whether the street or the state would control the day. But when June 30th arrived, the most important thing was not only how many people marched, it was what the day revealed. Because every clip from that day showed a different layer of the crisis. The first layer was departure. Let's take a listen.
Lazy, you know what I'm saying? You are too lazy. You don't want to work. I don't know what type of you want anything for Mahara, everything for free. You just need free money. As you now, you are busy chasing people out of here, but you don't want to work. You are still staying inside your house, but you want money. Are you okay? Are you okay? You are crazy. You must be stupid. I'm telling you, I'm leaving. I'm not going to come again. But if you want to be successful in your life, you have to think and you have to be work as a slave. Don't just sit inside the house and be busy chasing someone. Still, you're going to be the same. You're going to chase that someone is going to go. You are killing your own industry. You are killing your own economy because someone is going and the factory is killed. That factory was supposed to pay the tax.
That Malawian migrant preparing to leave South Africa spoke with anger. He accused South Africans of chasing away people who work, rent, trade, and contribute to the economy. Now, we do not have to endorse every word he used. Some of his words were harsh, some were insulting. But buried inside that anger was a serious economic warning. When he said, "You are killing your own economy," he touched the part of this debate that many people do not want to face. Foreign workers and migrant traders are not only people competing for space, they are also renters, customers, shopkeepers, labourers, tax contributors, suppliers, consumers, people who move money through local communities. So, if a community chases everyone away, what exactly replaces them? Who opens the shops? Who pays the rent? Who buys from local suppliers? Who keeps the small trading networks alive? This is the question June 30th forced South Africa to confront. Because the fantasy of migrant removal sounds simple from a protest line, but the economy is not simple. A shop closes and the owner suffers, but the community also suffers. A worker leaves and the worker loses income, but the landlord loses rent, the supplier loses a customer, the neighbour loses access to goods, the state loses revenue. That is why the economic question cannot be reduced to anger alone. The second layer of June 30th was confrontation. Let's watch.
Yes, this is where the Nigerians gathered, waiting for the South Africans to cross the line. Let the show begin. And here is the South Africans. Here is the South Africans. Here are they over there across the line. And the police is in the middle of them, waiting for them to watch them, trying to wait for them to come along so that the show will begin. This is what are passing through in South Africans. Look at them. Look at them. The police are there in the middle of the show. Yeah. So Nigerians are this side. Nigerians are this side. You can see the guys with knives and guns, waiting for them to show themselves. And here are the South Africans. Here are some of them there. Here are there. Here are there. And the cops are standing in front of the line, trying to solve the show. Here are they. This is where it's happening. This is where it's happening. It's happening. It's a live show.
That was a tense standoff between Nigerians and South African protesters. According to the person filming, the groups were on opposite sides while police tried to hold the line. The narrator claimed that people were waiting for the other side to cross so that a fight could begin. But what the clip clearly showed was tension, people waiting. It showed police trying to prevent a confrontation. It showed how quickly the language of protest can become the atmosphere of conflict. And this is where the danger of June 30th becomes clear. When a political deadline turns into a street test, people begin preparing for confrontation before anything has even happened. Fear starts to organize bodies. Rumors organize movements. Anger creates lines. And once people stand on opposite sides of a line, the smallest push can become a spark. That is why the police line matters. Because on June 30th, the police were not only standing between citizens and migrants, they were standing between South Africa and the possibility of a much deeper rupture. But then came the third layer, and this may be the most revealing clip of all. Let's watch.
Okay, open the shop. We can't go. Listen here. We can't go there by Shoprite to buy 2 rand sugar. We can't go by Shoprite to buy 3 rand coffee. You can't go by Shoprite and buy 5 rand potato. You can. Where? Because our people is the poor of the poor. Why you close the shop? Open the shop. Because the community, you close your back. The community close your back. So open. You are live now. Open the shop. Because my shop's there and that is open. My shop is open, so open. The community is here.
In this community, South Africans were not chasing a foreign shop owner away. They were asking him to open. Open the shop. Open the shop. The community is here. We are poor. We need to buy sugar. We need to buy coffee. We need to buy water. That clip tells the story better than 1,000 political speeches, because it exposes the contradiction at the heart of the anti-migrant panic. Some people say foreign shop owners must leave, but when the shops close, the same communities feel the pain immediately. Not after a month, not after a year, immediately. Because in many poor communities, the local shop is not an abstract political issue. It is where people buy on credit. It is where they buy small items when they do not have money for a large supermarket trip. It is where a mother gets bread, where a child gets a drink, where someone buys 1 packet of sugar, 1 candle, 1 soap, 1 small thing needed for the night. So, when people shout, "Close foreign shops," they must also answer another question. What happens the morning after? Where do the poor buy? Who fills the gap? Who absorbs the cost? June 30th revealed that migrant-owned shops are not simply outside the community. In many places, they are inside the survival system of the poor, and that is why the clip is so powerful. Because it shows a community saying, "We may hear the politics, but we still need the shop." That brings us to the fourth layer, looting. Watch.
Absolute chaos. Unbelievable. I can't believe I'm witnessing something like this. What a shame. This beautiful country is absolutely fucked. Look at the fucking pandemonium. I mean, it's absolutely...
This footage from June 30th shows shops being attacked or looted in a mall. And this is where protest politics becomes something else. Because once the law is weakened, not everyone who enters the moment is there for politics. Some come for property. Some come for revenge. Some come for opportunity. Some come because chaos gives them cover. This is the danger of any movement that plays with public fear. Even if organisers say they do not want violence, they cannot always control what fear releases once crowds move. A slogan can begin as politics, but on the ground, it can become intimidation. Then it can become looting. Then it can become arson. Then it can become death. That is why the state kept warning people not to take immigration enforcement into their own hands. Because once the street becomes the judge, the police, and the punishment, the law does not become stronger. It disappears. And when the law disappears, the poorest communities often pay first. The shopkeeper loses stock, the community loses access, the worker loses wages, the landlord loses rent, the child loses safety, the neighbour loses trust. Looting does not build sovereignty. It breaks the fragile systems poor people depend on. Then came the fifth layer of June 30th. Migrant defiance. Here we go.
If you pay for everywhere, problem. Oh, but we are here. We grew up here, we are here, South Africa, we are never this kind. What is that? It's a good question.
Yeah.
What is that?
They don't share the white people, but they are sharing black, like black.
The white people, they are not playing. If you play, they shoot. If you go to England, they shoot. But the foreigner, we are feeling shame because we are human beings. We are same blood. Let me tell you people, your mind, it must work. You don't even need to cry. You don't even need to take care of for the men. So how are you chasing people? How are you chasing people? As you are going to work everywhere, if you need to washing the leg for someone for paying the rent. We're telling you we are anger. You never do anything. If you stand up like you got the corners, fight for us.
Hey, you see? Listen.
This woman, apparently of Congolese origin, spoke with raw anger. She said they were not leaving. She said they grew up there. She said they work, even if it means washing people's legs to be able to pay rents. They will survive. Again, her words were emotional. But that emotion matters, because many people being called foreigners are not experiencing South Africa as a place they visited yesterday. Some have lived there for years. Some grew up there. Some have children there. Some are married there. Some built their lives there. Some may have legal papers. Some may not. But the social reality is complicated. Human life does not always fit neatly into a protest slogan. And that is why June 30th was so painful. Because the public language made it sound like one category of people could simply disappear. But when people speak for themselves, you hear something different. You hear fear, anger, shame, dignity, defiance. You hear people saying, "We are not just numbers in your political argument. We are lives. We are workers. We are mothers. We are renters. We are neighbours. We are people who have been part of these streets for years." However, that does not erase the legal questions. Documentation still matters. Immigration law still matters. The state still has a duty to manage borders. But the human reality matters too. Because if the debate loses the human being, it becomes very easy to justify anything. Then came the sixth layer, and this is the layer that should not be ignored. Not all South Africans supported the shutdown. Not all communities accepted the March and March ideology. Watch this example.
Yeah, my bro. Just imagine those people that said no, toi toi mabambi. They're looking for bread. They can't buy bread now. Me, I'm going to the shop to buy water at this time of the night. Yeah. Salam bye. Sorry. Salam bye. Sorry. How's business, bye? How's business? You see here, we have peace here. They say other places people must go now. They can't come to the shop at this time. Yeah, because there's unity here. Africa for Africans. Exactly, my brother. You're at the shop now, ne? Buying now. You busy toy all day. Now, with your toy, you don't have a shop that's open. Your shops are closed. Our shops is open because we don't toy. We work together with the people. Right, bye? That's it. Yeah. When I talked about unity, they said I'm a dictator. But look now, we're happy. Sure, bye.
This South African filmed himself going to a shop at night, buying normally, speaking with the shopkeeper and saying that in their area there was peace. He said their shops were open. He said they worked together with people. He said Africa for Africans. That clip matters because it breaks the false image that all South Africans think the same way. They do not. Some South Africans are angry and want migrants out. Some are afraid of violence. Some are caught in the middle. Some reject xenophobia completely. Some understand that foreign-owned shops form part of the local survival economy. Some believe the state must enforce immigration law, but ordinary people must not become mobs. And that is the South Africa that also appeared on June 30th, a South Africa that said, "Not here," a South Africa that said, "We choose peace," a South Africa that said, "We can live together." That matters. Because if the only images people see are anger and violence, they begin to believe violence is the whole country. But June 30th showed something more complicated. It showed conflict, yes. It showed fear, yes. It showed looting and standoffs and anger, yes. But it also showed dependence. It showed resistance to xenophobia. It showed communities choosing normal life. It showed the state trying to hold the line. And it showed migrants refusing to be reduced to silence. But there is one more layer we must talk about. The rhetoric did not end on June 30th. Watch this.
Call a spade, don't tap dance around the truth. Nigerians are a problem in this country. They are not here to work either a place that you know. They don't wake up in the morning and go and work. But check where they stay. What did they do? They are here, they are not because they are desperate. How many countries they skip before they come to South Africa? If they have tact and audacity, they must go and face Boko Haram. They must go and face Boko Haram than to kill them.
This South African commentator directly targeted Nigerians, saying they are a problem in the country and rejecting the argument that African solidarity during apartheid should shape how South Africa treats other Africans today. That kind of rhetoric is important to examine because it shows the emotional engine that keeps the crisis alive. It is not only about documents. It is about resentment. It is about humiliation. It is about a feeling that South Africans suffered, fought, bled, and now should not be morally lectured by anyone else. We have to understand that emotion. But understanding it does not mean accepting what it becomes, because when anger turns one nationality into a collective enemy, it stops being analysis. It becomes scapegoating. If a Nigerian commits a crime, prosecute that Nigerian. If a Malawian is undocumented, process that case lawfully. If a Zimbabwean breaks the law, investigate that individual. If an employer exploits undocumented workers, punish that employer. But do not turn entire nationalities into suspects. That is the line South Africa must not cross. Because once nationality becomes guilt, the law has already been replaced by prejudice. So, what happened in South Africa on June 30th? The shutdown did not give one answer. It exposed a country arguing with itself. The state said normal working day. The streets said deadline. Some migrants left, some migrants stayed. Some shops closed, some communities begged shops to open, some people looted, some police lines held, some South Africans rejected the whole anti-migrant logic, others doubled down, and through all of it, one truth became impossible to ignore. Migrant blame did not solve anything. It revealed everything. It revealed how weak trust in the state has become. It revealed how dependent poor communities are on migrant labour and migrant shops. It revealed how easily protest can become criminal opportunity. It revealed how quickly nationality can be turned into suspicion. It revealed how deeply anger over unemployment, crime, services, and corruption is looking for a visible target. And it revealed that South Africa's immigration crisis is also a governance crisis, an economic crisis, a policing crisis, and a crisis of national identity. That is why June 30th matters, not because it ended the debate, but because it showed what the debate has become. A country cannot build order by frightening neighbours. It cannot build jobs by looting shops. It cannot repair the state by replacing it with mobs. It cannot protect communities by turning entire nationalities into enemies. And it cannot solve illegal immigration by pretending the economy will not feel the shock when workers, renters, traders, and shopkeepers disappear overnight. South Africa does have the right to enforce immigration law, but it must do so through the law. It has the right to protect jobs, but it must confront employers, corruption, and economic failure. It has the right to fight crime, but it must investigate criminals, not nationalities. It has the right to demand order, but order cannot be built from fear. So the real story of June 30th is not that one side won and the other side lost. The real story is that South Africa was forced to look at itself, and what it saw was uncomfortable. A country angry for real reasons, a state trying to regain authority, migrants leaving with bitterness, communities dependent on the very shops they fear losing, protesters demanding action, looters exploiting chaos, police trying to hold the line, and ordinary South Africans still asking the hardest question of all: how do we fix this country without destroying each other? This is the South Africa File: history, power, politics, and consequences. If this kind of evidence-based analysis matters to you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next investigation. Also share this episode with someone who cares about South Africa, migration, the economy, public order, and the future of African communities living together. Before you go, I want to ask you two questions. First, after watching what happened on June 30th, do you think the shutdown exposed South Africa's immigration crisis, or its deeper governance crisis? And second, if foreign-owned shops, migrant workers, and African communities are already part of local survival systems, what happens when fear drives them out? Put your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation serious, honest, and grounded in evidence.